What is going on, everyone? My name is King Caliber and welcome back to another Fallout 4 build. I'm so sorry that I have not uploaded a build in a while, and I've been off of YouTube for 2 weeks as well, so sorry about the long time away. I just took a break from YouTube, but I thought after all that time I could finally bring you guys my newest Fallout 4 build, the Director. So without further ado, let's get into the backstory. The Director was raised in a wealthy family in the city of Boston. He had a father who was an engineer at MIT and a mother who stayed at home to take care of her children. The Director had picked up the sense of creativity from his father, who always loved to tinker with a lot of things in the facility or at home. During the Director's schooling, he was so interested in technology that he studied it all throughout high school and got enough experience to go to MIT. While working there, he met a woman who he bonded with over several months. They eventually ended up getting married, but the Director had chosen to join the military to fight in the war. After a while, he eventually settled down with his wife in Sanctuary Hills and had a child with her. Then the bombs began to fall, where the Director and his family are rushed to Vault 111 to take safety. The Director rises from the vault many years later to avenge his wife and find his son. So the Director will obviously be siding with the Institute, as he believes that they have his son, but he cannot destroy what he had been associated with for so many years before the war, despite their bad reputation. He believes that with the Institute's advanced technology, the Commonwealth can become a better place once again. The Director is more of an intelligence-focused build, allowing him to get past almost any security and heal any wound. His stellar experience with technology that he had received from MIT, now the Institute, gives him the ample advantage in combat. There will be no companions for this build, but if it is required, then X688 is the ideal choice just because he's the only companion in the game that is associated with the Institute. So moving on to the special stats, in the beginning of the game you're going to want to start with Strength at 1, Perception at 7, Endurance at 1, Charisma at 5, Intelligence at 10, Agility at 3, and Luck at 1. Strength and Luck will not require any perks for this build because they do not have any perks that will be helpful for this build. Starting off with Perception, the perk that I recommend for this build is called Refractor, and this basically gives you energy resistance, and it will give you 10 more every time you level it up, and this won't be very useful when you're in the Institute because all these synths that use energy weapons will be friendly and won't attack you, but it will be useful against any super mutants or gunners or any other enemy that uses energy weapons against you. For Endurance, the only perk that I can recommend is Toughness, and since this build isn't very tough outside of power armor, this perk can actually be very useful when you level it up from time to time, so you can get that extra damage resistance in combat. So the perk for Charisma that I can recommend is called Cap Collector, and since energy weapons are pretty expensive in the world of Fallout 4, this will ensure that with higher ranks of this perk you can get some pretty awesome prices for energy weapons and ammo. Now on to Intelligence. The perks that I recommend for Intelligence are Medic, Hacker, Science, Robotics Expert, Nuclear Physicist, and Nerd Rage. Medic will allow you to heal more hit points and radiation when using Stimpaks and Radaway. Hacker will allow you to hack more higher level terminals. Science will allow you to put higher level mods on your energy weapons. Robotics Expert will allow you to manipulate robots, such as hacking them and making them attack somebody else. Nuclear Physicist will make your radiation weapons do more damage, but also make your fusion core duration longer. Now the first one isn't really that useful since you won't really be using radiation weapons, but since you will be using power armor for this build, the second benefit, where it will make your fusion cores last longer, is definitely useful. And on top of that, the last rank of this perk will allow you to use your fusion cores as nuclear grenades, which is pretty cool, but I would not suggest using it until your fusion core is about to die out, because you would be wasting quite a bit of juice in your fusion core if you were to use it at that moment. And then finally we have Nerd Rage. This perk gives you 20 plus damage resistance and allows you to do 20% more damage when your health drops below 20%. The second rank will make it more powerful, but the third rank will make it more powerful, but it will also allow you to restore some lost health when you kill enemies. And then finally for Agility we have Gunslinger. This will allow you to do more damage with your non-automatic pistols, and I would definitely suggest getting this perk near the beginning of the game just because you will be able to do a lot more damage with pistols that you find. And since you will be using a laser pistol through most of this build, this is going to be a very useful perk for you, but you'll also be using the plasma rifle, so if you do want to pick up the Rifleman perk in Perception, then I would definitely suggest doing that as well. But you're mostly going to be using a laser pistol, so you wouldn't really have to worry about that too much. Starting off with gear, we have Father's Lab Coat. This is a pretty good looking piece of Institute gear, and I highly recommend it for this build. It gives you 2 intelligence, and you can also put the Ballistic Weave mod on it from the Railroad if the Railroad quests are completed. You do not have to side with the Railroad to get the Ballistic Weave mod, and there are plenty of tutorials on it on YouTube on how to do this method completely. I would also suggest a pair of eyeglasses, just because it gives the build a little more of a smart look, and it gives you 1 perception. For power armor, you're going to want the Exo 1 power armor, and in the beginning of the game, if you're worried about power armor, just get the T45 power armor that you get at the beginning of the game. Take care of a suit of power armor until you reach near the end of the game, around level 30, when you can actually get a full suit of Exo 1 power armor. Again, there is quite a few tutorials for it on YouTube. You might know the method already since it's pretty popular, but if you don't, then you can just look it up and you can find a pretty good tutorial on how to do it. But you're going to want to put the Institute paint job on the Exo 1 power armor, which will give you 1 point of intelligence when all pieces are painted. And you can probably guess what the weapons are for this build. You're going to be using a modified laser pistol and a modified plasma rifle. You can modify them to your liking depending on your science level. Anyway, that wraps it up for my Fallout 4 Director build. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, definitely leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel for future Fallout and Elder Scrolls content. Also, follow my Twitter and Instagram in the description down below. My name is King Caliber. Stay updated, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.